What's up, everybody? Welcome to the lab. I'm your host, Joshua Diaz. It's good to see you. Good to be here. Thank you, everybody, for checking out the channel. We had a great show last night. Again, thank you to Dr. Gary. If you haven't seen it, go ahead and check it out after this live, of course. And we had a good time, and it was a long show, but those shows are typical. So I mean, it wasn't out of the ordinary for the show to be as long as it was, but it was actually pretty standard. So thank you again. But yeah, I thank you. I really enjoyed it. It was good. I always enjoy all the calls, and sorry if I didn't catch your comments. I was trying to keep up with them as best I could. It was a busy room, and I was trying to read them and host the show and take the calls at the same time. So it was busy, but fun, and we'll keep doing them. As long as you guys like them, we'll keep doing them. Anyway, so how's everybody doing tonight? Tonight we'll get into the conversation, the topic of conversation, the D4VD case, or David Anthony Burke case, which just gets worse and worse and worse. However, before we do that, I want to say hi to some people. Yeah, it was very good. Hi, Jovi. Good to see you. Ginger, Mary, good to see you guys. Thank you for being here. I do feel I'm feeling better every day. I'm getting better, I think, every day. I'm close. I'm getting there. I'm close. It's just this is the first time, I got to tell you, this is the first time that I've ever caught a cold like this, where it did not eventually go into my chest like that. This is the first time. It typically seemed to have always spread down from my nose into my chest, into my lungs, or whatever. It was inevitable, and I was sort of expecting that. But it didn't happen. Well, I don't know if it's going to happen now. I think I'm on the back end of it, so I doubt it. I mean, it would have. What I'm saying is, it was usually like a day and a half of that, then straight to the chest, just like a kick from a friggin' mule to the chest, and so, but feeling good, And I surprisingly, yeah, it was a head cold, but felt like it was kind of on steroids. Do your eyes? Everything hurt. Everything hurt. It was bad. Everything did. It was the worst. Yeah, I think it was. It was. It wasn't. It wasn't the big. It wasn't the. It wasn't C19. One time I was doing a show with Chris, and he came. I've never seen anything like it. I can't remember the show, but he came down with Cove um for the third time live. I saw it happening, and he was just started feeling worse and worse, and it like took over. His face started getting red and warm. He's chugging water. He was chugging water at an astronomical rate. And he goes, because I think his son had it. And I said, are you getting sick? And he takes a huge drink of water and he goes, third time. I was like, oh man. I was like, we should go. We should end this now. He's like, no, I'm okay. And then he was down for like a week. It was unbelievable. But had the fortitude to fight through that, which was amazing. And then I was awoken by Otis again at 3:30 in the morning last night, and he was just he had this spot on his neck. When he drinks water, he just drips, and it had become irritated, and I hadn't seen it because it was like under his little fold because he's fat. And so that needed immediate attention, which sucked. So I had to give him a shower at 3 a.m. and then blow dry him. I was blow drying Otis at 3:30 in the morning. Like, and he just sat there like this. Going, he loved it. He was like, this is great. It wasn't so great for me, but anyway, he finally fell asleep, and so all that, it was fun. It was great. He's better. He's fine. But so anyway, that happened. But once again, he's so cute. Well, he didn't want to go near the blow dryer at first, but he didn't have a choice. Let's just put it that way. He's not a scaredy cat. He knows that I wouldn't do anything to harm him. He knows that I have his best interest. He will let, but it's not that he's scared of it. He just doesn't want it to happen. He's just like, I got other things to do. I got trash to get into. I got, I need to be running back and forth. There's things that he thinks he needs to do other than what needs to be done. So he fights it. That's what he does. And then on top of all of that, he has to be taken, like when he's going to bed, he has to be put down like a baby. Like you have to pat his little bum and he'll relax. Like, but until then, he just keeps getting up, circles, sits, up, circles, sits, under the covers, wraps the covers, pulls the covers, messes them up. And then so on and so on and so on. And it's just like a continuous thing. So then finally you have to go, hey, with some assertion. You have to assert yourself. You have to dominance. You have to get in a dominant, like, hey, and then he'll look at you, and then you go, lay down right now, and then lay down, and then you put the covers over him gently, and you go pat, 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 pat. pat, 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 pat. And then you go, good night. This is how you swear to God, this is how you do. Good night, night. And then he'll look at you. He starts blinking. Good night, night. Hit the boat, baby. Night, night. And then he goes, he thinks I'm his mother. He thinks I'm his mother, and that's it. So anyway, yeah. So anyway, so the case that we're going to talk about tonight, look, it's not great. It's a terrible case. And I guess you could say that I do struggle with it a little bit. However, I don't know. I mean, I don't have a child the age of Celeste, but I do have a child the age of David. And it's very baffling to me that something like this could go on and end the way it does with such brutality. It really is something that, each case is different, individually that we talk about, especially, when it comes to young kids. And Celeste she was a teenager, but this started when she wasn't a teenager. Over the course of about 3 years, this man, and that, look, whatever you think, 18 years old, by definition, is a man. You're responsible for yourself legally. You're responsible for yourself. Nobody's gonna take up for you. Nobody can take up for you. You're on your own. Even if your parents want to take up for you, they can't. It's just not how it works. And but then again, you hear about these children who are, look, the lifestyle that we're seeing on the internet, and especially on Kick is particularly Kick. And I think what else is, what's that other streaming, Twitch? Yeah, Kick and Twitch, but mostly Kick now has this sort of, I guess you could say it's a culture of live streaming, and not like this sort of live streaming. I mean, it's like real life live streaming where, they have cameramen that just follow them around like a reality TV show. And the more money that you have, the more people that it attracts, the bigger the crowds, the more ghoulish the behavior. And it's sort of a recipe for disaster. And in a lot of these cases, and a lot of weird stuff happens. There's this kid that, I'm going to hate here for a minute, but I think he's bad for the world. This young man named Clavicular. If you don't know who he is, don't waste your time. I mean, he's a weird kid. I think he's in trouble for something already. Then you have just this disgusting, weird behavior that's going on with these young kids who have way too much fame and way too much money. And they do these they throw these unbelievably big parties in the Hollywood Hills. And, if you've never been to Hollywood or if you've never dealt with people from Hollywood, it is a weird place. I mean, it just is. The things that people tell you about Hollywood are real. It's so it's a place where you can sell your soul figuratively and literally to actual devils that exist on earth and to demons that may come to and fro. I don't know. I'm just saying that that's how I feel about that. It is, it's not like the days of like heavy metal rock, where you have like they make people like AC/DC, Rob Zombie, look normal. I mean, it is a weird place, and it's getting weirder and creepier by the day. And like you said, these live streams are out of control, yet they're very popular. And that's who David sort of was. He was a gamer. If you don't know who he was particularly, first of all, and I don't say this because of hindsight. I would say this if you were to ask me. I didn't know who he was, but I know a million Davids that do what he did and played Fortnite. He was a gamer live streamer, and then somehow patched together some really shitty music, got a big following, started hooking up with other influencers that, by the way, most of them are idiots. And a lot of those guys defended him when a lot of this was going on. A young man by the name of Jason the Ween. Have you heard of that guy? He's a real winner. And he's out of control too. Give me a sec. And there's a lot of these like videos out there of them. Yeah, Jason the Ween. I don't know if it stands for wiener. I really don't, but that's what he's called, Jason the Ween. It's don't get me going on him. So anyway, this guy, David, for those of you who aren't familiar with the case, and we'll get into it here, what he has done or what he's accused of is having a relationship with a girl under 14. They have said that he has child P on his phone, and which is weird. I didn't understand that, because I mean, I understand what they mean by that. He has it, but for some reason he's not charged with it. So I don't understand that. But they laid that out sort of in their case against him. And I don't know. I'm not really sure what exactly that, where this fits in, but it should be turned over to the feds. I don't know if it has or if it hasn't, but he certainly should be charged with it, but he's not charged with it. So why he's charged with it, or why they brought it up, I'm not really sure. But it should be, he should be tried for it. So anyway, he has this relationship with this girl that he met. I believe it was in a Fortnite forum or something along those lines, and which is like disgusting in and of itself. She was 11 at the time. He was, I believe, 18. Yeah, it sounds about right. 18 years old. Imagine. Remember back when you were 18 years old. A Discord server that was game related. Okay, so we got that. Imagine you're 18. I remember when I was 18. And I remember having friends that had little little brothers and sisters. Some of them 10, 11, 12, and they annoyed the shit out of me. They were so friggin' annoying. And they were just little kids. Like, they're just little. They're little kids, man. It's weird. Strange. But instead of, instead of him treating her like she was just a child and leaving her alone, he thought that it would be advantageous of him to engage in a sexual relationship with a child. And that's what she was. And that's what she died as a child. And he allegedly killed her. But so the Superior Court of the State of California for the County of Los Angeles, they filed a people's brief regarding preliminary hearing evidence. So you have to, what it is, there's a preliminary hearing. It was requested, but I'm not really sure why it was requested, because typically you don't have to request them. You automatically get one. And it looks like the prosecution was already prepared to lay it out. So they submitted it to the court, and now it's public record. It's a 9 pages. I'm going to go over it here, and it lays out, and it says in here that it is a roadmap. And these are the things that they are going to try to prove, or say that they can prove, in a court of law. And so that is where this is headed. So I will share this with you, and I'm going to go over it here. All right, so this is the people of the state of California, plaintiff versus David Anthony Burke, also known as D4VD, whatever the stupidest name I've ever heard. It's really stupid. Okay, I'm hating. I can't stand people like this. It's like got the whole world. Somehow, some way, he's got the whole world at his fingertips. I have no idea. I don't know how he ended up with it. Don't tell me it's hard work. I mean, it's got to be luck, right? I don't know. Whatever. Okay. To the Honorable Judge Charlene Olmedo, the above entitled case. The people submit the following brief to provide a roadmap for the evidence the people intend to introduce at the preliminary hearing scheduled to begin May 1st. All right. So here are the background facts. The dismembered body of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas, victim, was discovered in the front trunk of defendant's Tesla Model X on September 8th, 2025. The vehicle had been towed 3 days prior from 1405 Bluebird Avenue, which was parked approximately 400 feet from the defendant's home at 1368 Bohne Place in the Hollywood Hills. Surveillance video and other evidence confirmed defendant was the last person to drive the vehicle on July 29th, 2025, before he left Los Angeles on a concert tour. And on September 8th, 2025, the manager of the tow yard where the Tesla had been impounded noted the strong smell of decay and the presence of flies coming from the vehicle. He noted he notified Los Angeles Police Department, the LAPD, Hollywood auto detectives, who determined the Tesla was registered to the defendant through departmental resources. At the tow yard, LAPD detectives opened the Tesla's front storage compartment and observed a black cadaver bag covered in insects. Inside the bag, they discovered a severely decomposed head and torso. A plastic garbage bag beneath the black cadaver bag contained the dismembered arms and legs. However, the victim's ring and pinky fingers on her left hand had been amputated and were not found in the Tesla. On September 16th, 2025, the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner's Department positively identified the body from dental records as belonging to the victim. Pursuant to the investigation, LAPD robbery homicide detectives determined the victim and the defendant met in January 2022 when she was 11 years old. And I once again, 11 years old. We need to be accurate on the age because I've heard a lot of people saying 12. Now, is there a huge difference between 11 and 12? Not really. But for some reason, the 11, I mean, it's just unfathomable. 11 years old. For some reason, 12 feels middle school, which is still completely disgusting and wrong. 11 is the whole thing is just unfathomable. But I've heard people getting the age wrong. 14, 15, 12, 13. It started when she was 11. They began a sexual relationship in November of 2023 when the victim was just 13 years old and the defendant was 18. Detectives learned the victim had been reported missing to the Riverside County Sheriff's Department by her family who lived in Lake Eleanors in February and April 2024. Telephonically contacted defendant on February 17th, 2024, after they identified a phone number in the victim's phone record that belonged to him. During the call, defendant claimed he had spoken to the victim last on February 13th or 14th, but stated he was unaware she was a minor or that she had been reported missing. RCSD advised him that the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department deputies would be coming to his home on that day. Defendant was living at 804 North Doheny Place in West Hollywood Hills. RCSD requested the LA Sheriff's Department conduct a welfare check at defendant's home, and the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department deputies went to the defendant's home that night at 8:15 p.m. and informed him the victim was a 13-year-old runaway. Defendant again claimed he was unaware. She was a minor and he had only met the victim once in person in November of 2023. However, defendant showed deputies a yearbook photo of the victim he had on his cell phone. Although he claimed to be unaware of where the victim was at the time, she returned home 2 days later. Despite being informed by law enforcement the victim was only 13, the defendant continued to pursue her. After the victim returned home in February of 2024, her parents took her cell phone away. So, to those of you that pretend that her parents were doing nothing and fighting against this and not fighting against this, have a seat and clean up your own backyard. Defendant drove to Lake Eleanor and paid a junior high school student in the victim's class $1,000 to give the victim's cell phone, to give the victim a cell phone the defendant purchased so they could stay in contact. Throughout 2024, so listen to what he just did. He contacted somebody in her class, bought a cell phone, paid that child $1,000. $1,000 to deliver the cell phone. $1,000. $1,000. Throughout 2024, the victim spent a significant amount of time with the defendant, including summer weekends at his home in the Hollywood Hills, and traveling with him to Las Vegas, London. How did she do that? And Texas to meet his family. It's disgusting. Text exchanges between the victim and defendant contain references to sex, pregnancy, abortion, the use of Plan B emergency contraceptive. There are also explicit photographs documenting and corroborating their sexual relationship. In November 2024, defendant and the victim broke up. Although they continued to communicate in text messages, suggest they also continued to have sexual relations. April 23rd is the likely date of the victim's death, and when all her cellular activity ceased the night prior, April 22nd, 2025, defendant and the victim engaged in a lengthy argument described in detail in their text messages. Now, this is the stuff that will come out at trial. The details will be there. The messages reveal the victim's jealousy over the defendant's relationship with other women, as defendant led her to believe they had a future together. She became extremely upset and threatened to disclose damaging information about her relationship with the defendant to end his career and destroy his life. Defendant's first studio album was to be released April 25th, 2025. He had an emerging multi-million-dollar career already in progress. He also had multiple product endorsements, which were highly profitable. By the way, I heard that Fortnite is now they're offering refunds to people that bought his stuff on there. So that's nice, I guess. Because I think they pulled it all down. Okay, so let's see. At approximately 8:40 p.m. on April 23rd, 2025, the defendant sent an Uber. So this is where, so, okay. So we're at the point where they kind of give, some details, the backstory, blah, blah, blah. And now we get to, the argument, because he was seeing other girls or women or girls, who freaking knows at this point what the hell is going on with him. But she was hurt by this. She was upset, and she threatened him. She threatened to end his career, which it would have. It certainly would have. He ruined his career. It's a terrible thing. Yeah, I'm sure she had no idea that she was dealing with just a monster. At approximately 8:40 p.m. on April 23rd, 2025, defendant sent an Uber to transport the victim from her Lake Eleanor's home to his residence. They communicated before and during her Uber ride, which dropped her off at the defendant's Hollywood Hills home around 10:10 p.m. and at approximately 10:30 p.m. defendant sent text messages to the victim inquiring where she was. The people contend this was part of the defendant's premeditated plan to cover up the murder, as she was already dead by this time. So she arrived between 10:10 and 10:30. So in 20 minutes of her arriving, she's dead, and he is sending text messages asking where she is. Great plan, David. Knowing he had to silence the victim before she ruined his music career, as she had threatened very soon after her arrival at his home, defendant stabbed the victim to death multiple times and stood by while she bled out. At no time did he call law enforcement or 911 or take her to an emergency room to attempt to save her life. Despite knowing she was dead and her family was trying to find her, the evidence will show defendant lied and claimed he didn't know where she was. In fact, defendant drove to Santa Barbara County immediately after the victim died, attempting to dispose of her property and to destroy evidence. At approximately 11:30 p.m. on April 23rd, 2025, he drove away from his home as he texted and called the victim's cell phone, asking where she was. Again, these were acts calculated and planned to set up his defense with a very short timeline after the victim's vicious murder. Defendant drove his Tesla north on the 101 freeway to San Marcos Pass Road. SR 154 near Lake Cachuma in Santa Barbara County. He returned home early the following morning on April 24th, 2025, before going to a radio interview for the release of his album that week. He sent 2 additional texts to the victim's phone that day, which obviously went unanswered because she was already dead. After April 26, 2025, defendant never attempted to contact her again. Excuse me. Hold on. Let me get a sip of this one. Needed something for the throat. Tellingly, defendant subsequently purchased tools. This is, the whole thing is dark. Okay. Very dark, but it just gets worse and worse. Tellingly, defendant subsequently purchased tools to carry out his plot to dismember and dispose of the victim's body on April 24th, 2025. Are people fighting in the chat? What's going on? Are people fighting in the chat? We don't need fighting. Like, you know, this case is bad enough. There are online forums for that. This really isn't the place for it. We don't need that shit. Seriously. I mean, we're talking about a 14-year-old girl who was murdered. Okay. There's one person that's accused of murdering her. Let's just be clear about that. All right. On May 1st, 2025, defendant ordered and subsequently Amazon delivered 2 chainsaws to his home. On May 5th, 2025, defendant ordered and Amazon subsequently delivered a body bag, heavy-duty laundry bags, and a blue inflatable pool to his home. Now, the pool is something. This is just wild, just absolutely unbelievable. Amazon subsequently delivered a body bag, heavy-duty laundry bags, and a blue inflatable pool to his home. He made these purchases under the fake name Victoria Mendez. I'm sure he'll get sued by her or whoever that is. A bunch of them probably. On May 8th, 2025, defendant returned to the same area in Santa Barbara County, leaving his home around 11:30 p.m. He returned to the area again on May 31st, 2025. Damn it. Where did that go? This is an isolated site off of SR 154 where the victim's identification was subsequently discovered in January 2026. Additionally, on July 7th, 2025, the defendant ordered and subsequently Amazon delivered a burn cage to his home under the same fake name as a part of his plan to incinerate evidence. Moreover, defendant took horrifying measures to destroy and discard the victim's body after placing her body into the blue inflatable pool to prevent her blood from spilling onto his garage floor. The defendant used a chainsaw and perhaps other tools to cut off her limbs. Small blue plastic fragments were found embedded in the victim's remains, which were collected by the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner's Department. The fragments were analyzed by the LAPD's Forensic Science Division Trace Analyst Unit. An expert was able to make a physical fit match from the blue fragments to the inflatable pool purchased by defendant in May 2025. In order to distance himself from the victim, he amputated her left ring and pinky fingers because her finger contained a tattoo of his name. Her fingers have not been recovered. Defendant then placed her head and torso into the cadaver bag he purchased. He placed her limbs into a garbage bag, which he deposited into the front trunk, laying the cadaver bag on top. For several weeks or possibly months, the defendant left the victim's body to decompose inside his Tesla. He lied to friends, business associates, and others who noticed the strong smell of decay in and around his home and vehicle before leaving on his concert tour at the end of July. He parked his Tesla on the street around the corner from his home. LAPD served a search warrant at the defendant's home at 1368 Doheny Place on September 17th, 2025, after the victim was identified by the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner on September 16th, 2025. Inside the garage, detectives discovered evidence consistent with the dismemberment of the victim's body in the inflatable pool, which contained multiple linear cuts. Several biological samples, which tested positive for blood, were collected within the garage area. DNA analysis determined that various samples matched the victim's unique genetic profile. On December 9th, 2025, the medical examiner ruled the victim's death a homicide caused by 2 penetrating injuries to the torso. On January 17th, 2025, the victim's U.S. passport card was found by a Caltrans worker off SR 154, Santa Barbara County. Evidence. The people will present the following evidence at the preliminary hearing, including but not limited to the description of photographs depicting the victim naked, as well as while she was engaged with the defendant in sexual activity when she was 13. As this evidence constitutes child sexual abuse material, the photographs themselves will not be presented. While all possible charges that could be proven were not filed, the CSAM is proof of their ongoing relationship while the victim was 13 and 14. Numerous text messages between the defendant and the victim evidencing their sexual relationship, pregnancy, abortion, and the use of Plan B contraception. So it sounds like she ended up pregnant and that he got her the Plan B pill, or I don't know if he did, but I mean, I don't think it's tough to get it, unfortunately. Not unfortunately, but unfortunately, I'm sure that was his idea, is what I mean. Jovi, thank you. Thank you for that donation. Hard case. Thank you for covering it, Josh. Well, I appreciate that. I mean, this person is a living, breathing, walking demon. That's what he is. He's an actual demon. Okay, here we go. Numerous text messages between defendant. Okay. Through March 2025, proved defendant continued to manipulate the victim as she messaged, "All we do is have sex and just hang out, man. I want more than that for myself." These messages were obtained from the defendant's iCloud data. Defendant's cellular activity and communications derived from defendant's iPhone and Tesla, which demonstrate defendant's activities from April 22nd, 2025 through April 24th, 2025, including a trip to Santa Barbara County in the middle of the night after the victim arrived at his Hollywood Hills home. Surveillance video of defendant driving his Tesla on July 29th, 2025 for the last time before parking the vehicle and leaving on tour at the end of July. He's the absolute worst. I mean, if what they're laying out is true, and it sounds like he's so cooked that it's not even like the fact that I mean, I guess what does he have to lose by going to trial other than, you know, I mean, he's going to be found guilty. This is something. There is so much just even in this, even in this just preliminary. It's amazing how much evidence they claim to have. I mean, the text messages are going to be insane. I'm sure there's going to be voice messages played. I'm sure that there's going to be, you know, God knows. Like I said, these children, especially this generation, they live their lives online. They live in Discords. They live on Snapchat. They live on, you know, online game forums. They just everything is online. Everything. So that's what's going to end up happening here is that they're going to have an astronomical amount of evidence. Somebody said 40 terabytes, which is an incredible amount. Yeah, TikTok. Like I said, I have 2 external hard drives. Neither of them have anything on them because I have enough on my hard drive on my computer. But each external hard drive that I have is a terabyte. So they say 40 of them. That's how much evidence that they have. 40. Jeez. And I got to tell you, it sounds like he went through great. Let me just finish this. Actually, he went to great lengths to try to cover this up, but did such a poor job at it. And I'm thankful for that. I've said this before. I'll say it again. If there are people out there committing crimes, I like my criminals stupid. He is a stupid person. He's an idiot, especially leaving all this evidence, but I'm glad that he did. Because if he's going to commit the crime, I'm glad that he left enough evidence to cook his ass, and that's what he did. Although he was trying not to. He just couldn't. He just couldn't figure it out. Thank God. Not for lack of trying. He just, it's not that easy, to get away with this kind of stuff. Thank God for it. DNA evidence developed from bloodstains collected from defendant's garage, which matched the victim's genetic profile. A proof of defendant's Amazon purchase and deliveries to his residence, including 2 chainsaws, a body bag, inflatable pool with heavy-duty laundry bags, and a burn cage. After April 24th, 2025. Proof of defendant's purchase and delivery from Postmates. He Postmated a shovel. Moron. From Home Depot to his home. Everything sent to his home. Sent things to his home that he lived at under a different name. He's an idiot, but I'm happy for that. Postmated a shovel. Uber records showing defendant's transaction where he ordered an Uber to pick up the victim from her Lake Eleanor's home and transport her to her residence the night of April 23rd, 2000. I'm a little curious about this as well. should Uber really be just offering 14, like giving 14-year-old rides in the middle of the night? I mean, am I wrong in thinking that just seems like you should be 18, having to use those kinds of services unless authorized somehow by, I don't know, parents or some, like some sort of verification, some sort of ID verification, through the parents or something. I just think that I don't know. It's just weird. And then the parents' name, last name should match it should all be set up. You shouldn't be able to just order an Uber randomly, like a 21-year-old kid ordering an Uber for a 14-year-old girl to deliver her to a house. Sorry. Well, if they have a fake ID, I mean, there's not a lot you can do about that, but still, if they have a fake ID, come on. They're working the system, but I mean, just to do it sight unseen. Just to do it sight unseen. Yeah, I'm going to drop this 14-year-old girl off in the Hollywood Hills at somebody's house. Here you go. I'm going to get out of my car. She walks in and dies. It's doesn't seem proper. All right. Uber records showing defendant's transaction where he ordered the Uber. Okay, so we already did that. Proof of defendant's lucrative career as a singer and songwriter prior to April 23rd, 2025. A defendant had an album release party on the night of April 24th, 2025, before embarking on an international tour in late July 2025. Text message exchanges between defendant and the victim on April 22nd and April 23rd, 2025, where the victim threatened to expose defendant and destroy his career. Conclusion. This brief is filed to assist the court in understanding the scope and relevance of evidence the prosecution intends to present at the preliminary hearing. Hold on. He's such a pain in the ass. Okay. The brief is filed to assist the court in understanding the scope and relevance of evidence the prosecution intends to present at the preliminary hearing. Prosecution has issued numerous subpoenas and is prepared to proceed with the preliminary hearing. The defense has had multiple opportunities to request a continuance, but has not done so. Furthermore, California Penal Code 1050 requires the defense to provide at least 2 court days notice to request a continuance in view of the limited scope of evidence to be presented at the preliminary hearing detailed in this brief. There should be no substantial impediment to moving forward with this hearing as scheduled. That was yesterday. So what did they say? May 1st? Is it May 1st that this is supposed to? Which is what? What day is May 1st? Is that tomorrow? April, yeah, it's tomorrow, right? Friday, today. So that'll be interesting. So they filed this. Now there's no chance for them to ask for a continuance. They're going to go ahead with this preliminary hearing, although they could have got, for some reason, the defense, I don't know why the defense didn't ask for a continuance, but I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's going to matter, to be honest with you. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna show you. Please like, share, subscribe. I would appreciate it very, very much. I'm going to share this tab. Okay, so this is the alleged burn cage that he ordered, which is insane. It's absolutely crazy. Oops. Why did it do that? I hate when it does that. There was one I saw. I'm trying to find it. I don't know if it's on here or not, but there was one where he was talking about how he had really been into gore or something along those lines. Well, give me a second here. I'm going to find it. One of a really strange thing too that I found out, or when looking at this case, was that for some reason he was into this Hello Kitty bullshit that little kids are into because she was into it. So he really played up this Hello Kitty thing, which is, I mean, it makes everything even more disgusting. There's nothing that this guy didn't do that wasn't predatory and disgusting. I mean, he's a 20-year-old dude. They say it was unused, but because they found her, but they say it was unused, that it hadn't been opened. I don't understand. Well, I guess I do, but he was just into this whole Hello Kitty bull crap. There was, where's the text message? Here's a picture of them. Like he's taking pictures of them together. She's covering her face. It's where is the one? Hold on. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Let me show this. I used to be addicted to watching gore videos. This is him speaking in a Discord. And he said that he became desensitized. That he became desensitized to it. Right here, he posts gore. He enjoys gore over porn. I used to be addicted to watching gore movies. I love gore. And this is 2023. It's just like, Donna, thank you for gifting 5 lab memberships. Very kind of you. Let's see. Just joining in, but is it true they said about the kiddie pool used for draining? I will leave it there. Yes. Yeah. So in the document that was dropped by the prosecution, he ordered a kiddie pool to keep the floor of his garage clean, allegedly, and that they found linear cuts in it from a chainsaw, and that there were pieces of plastic that match the plastic from the pool that was ordered on Amazon embedded in her body, which is, horrific in and of itself to think about. All right. I mean, we are dealing with just, it's like almost not of this world, something that's something you never would expect anybody to be into. Let me show you. Okay, so this was his buddy. His name, I think I told you earlier, his name was Jason the Ween, which is the stupidest name. That's the stupidest name I've ever heard. I've heard of some really stupid names. Jason the Ween might take the cake. Jason the Ween. Let me see here. Jason the Ween. Play the So basically he was saying, well, he wasn't a suspect.
I feel like I need to speak on this. Okay, be serious for a minute, because the narrative that's been spun on Twitter. First off, I want to retract my statement. Obviously, the other day I was defending David before all the new evidence came out. I do not condone anything that David has done or is doing. Okay, that is wicked and it's just unbelievable. It's been a lot to process. And one more thing, I want to say, the girl that I met named Celeste at the Faze house is not the same Celeste that was killed. RIP to that girl. But yeah, condolences to that girl and her family. That's just horrific.
Now, for a little bit of context, before this, he was saying that he was going to be, even after Celeste was found in the trunk or frunk of the Tesla. And Kat, thank you for gifting 1 lab membership. Even before that, or no, after she was found in David's car, David or this Wiener here was saying he's not a suspect. He's still going on tour, so everything's fine. I'm going to be performing with him somewhere. I want to find that video. Stay in the wind. Okay, here. That's the video I wanted to find. Maybe this is
A decomposed body was recently discovered for Tesla registered to singer David. Shortly after,
these guys have absolutely no care. They don't care.
David's friend Jason the Ween defend him, insisting on his innocence.
Have you talked about the situation
with David?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know why I pinned that. He didn't do it.
He's not a murderer?
No.
Thank God, bro. Because I was still going to listen to his music. I was just worried that I'd be an asshole if I did.
No, listen, he didn't do it. He literally performed the next day. If he was a suspect, the police would have been after him. He's not a suspect.
He's not just escaping the police clutches?
No. And I'm going to perform. We're going to perform on the 20th, me and David.
So let me get this straight. You support people and murderers. Got it.
Nice one, bro. Nice one, bro.
Fast forward, the county medical examiner confirmed the decomposed body to be 15-year-old Celeste Rivas. Her exact cause of death has not been disclosed as the investigation is still ongoing. Rivas had gone missing from Lake Elsinore, California.
Okay. So that happens, and then what is this?
Timestamps in case y'all want to skip around. For anyone who's unaware of any of the people that you
performed, yes.
All right, here we go.
Instantly.
Hey, I'm gonna say this right now. He didn't anybody, bro. He didn't anybody. There's no way. There's no way he's been on tour. He didn't anybody. He's been on tour. He literally performed yesterday. Bro, do you see the videos that he makes? There's no way he's somebody.
Now, you got to understand that Jason the Ween is a friend of David's. Some say best friend. He denies that they are best friends. I think he's 19 or 20. But he's got a song coming out with David. He's going on tour with David. A lot of his monetary success depends on David. And so he's just like, he doesn't care. He does not care. He doesn't understand.
He was framed. Either he was framed or my theory is somebody.
I got to tell you, I would probably be, it would be very hard to believe that your friend was capable of doing something like this, but I have a hard time believing that his closest friends didn't know. I mean, he took her on tour. He took Celeste to meet his parents. He took her to London. She was at the house. He was taking Snapchat photos with her, and and then she ends up dismembered in his Tesla. It's pretty hard to defend somebody at that point, whether they're your friend or not. Wouldn't you say? I would.
Someone and stole David's car and left it in the trunk. But I'm also not a detective, so.
Have you talked about the
shit? He's not a detective.
Situation
with David?
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't do it.
He's not.
No.
Thank God, bro. Because I was still gonna listen to his music. I was just worried that I'd be.
The guy's a Chad.
I did.
No, listen, he didn't do it. He literally performed the next day. If he was a suspect, the police would have been after him. He's not a suspect.
He's not just escaping the police clutches?
No. And I'm going to perform. We're going to perform on the 20th, me and David.
When all this news first broke out.
Let me see.
Me a writer, y'all could do but I don't know why y'all think that Jason the Ween has any type of fucking involvement into what happened with the David dude, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't know if it's the state clips. I don't know if motherfuckers are autistic. I don't know what it is. How
This is the world. This is what I'm showing you. And some of you are aware of this world and some of you aren't, but this is the world. Yeah. Detective Ween. This is the world that these kids come from. And it's a really odd one.
How the fuck does Jason the Ween have anything to do with the fucking like bro? Motherfuckers lost the plot. Genuinely, have they lost the plot? Have they lost? Like I do not understand, bro.
Faye's Jason is connected to both a pred and an alleged. What's next? Jason Ween now regrets defending David after backlash he received. Jason Ween backtracks to "We were not friends" after defending David and calling him his best friend for months. Fans believe Faye's Jason knew about David's past with.
Hey, Rusty, if you're out there, Rusty, was which friend of his got arrested? I cannot remember. I cannot remember which one. One of them got arrested, but I don't think it was the Ween.
Celeste and try to cover it up. Faye's Jason still hasn't changed his
Neo, okay.
stance after defending David last week, even as new evidence proves him guilty. I should not have to explain.
Let's see here.
Pokemon just
Sue Kid Champ, bro, on the internet for impression.
out a
Literally just lying on the internet for impressions, bro. Sue who? I'm about to sue Kid Champ, bro. Enough is enough. This dude's literally just a weirdo, bro. Yeah, you're right. It's dead ass not even lies. He's just falsely accusing me of shit. Like what, bro? Directly involved. Okay, bet. I bet. Nah, I'm saving this shit. Let me save this shit. Hey, Pokemon texting me back. Bro, I can't stream it more, bro. Like, bro, why is this like lying on me, bro? Literally lying on me. He's just falsely accusing me of shit that I'm not even involved in, bro. I don't feel good, chat. I don't know if I can stream tomorrow, bro. She's going through a lot right now, bro.
It's one thing to sit here.
Jeez. Wow.
Here.
Now, look, I gotta be look. I don't think that this guy had anything to do with what was going on. But you know, like he's very concerned that his reputation's being ruined. And it is. I mean, it was. It's.
Nah, I'm saving this shit. Let me save this shit. Hey, Pokemon texting me back. Bro, I can't stream it more, bro. Like, bro, why is this like lying on me, bro? Literally lying on me. He's just falsely accusing me of shit that I'm not even involved in, bro. I don't feel good, chat. I don't know if I can stream tomorrow, bro. She's going through a lot right now, bro.
It's one thing to.
Jeez. That's wild. Okay, so you said the friend was. Hold on here. And Sin Macau, thank you for becoming a YouTube member. I appreciate that. Meltdown Ween. Nia. Okay, hold on. Let me see. So this video is done for, let me see here. I'll put it in the, I don't know what channel this is, but Give credit to the channel. It's E-Times.
His silence online, Neo, a friend of music artist David, now says he is stepping back from the case publicly. In a series of emotional Instagram.
So I think this is the guy that's going to end up testifying. I mean, is that the consensus here? Is that what people are thinking? That's what I'm thinking. I think that he's the one that probably, I don't know if he has immunity. I don't know what he has, but he has information, and now he's probably going to testify. So basically what you would get charged with is maybe accessory after the fact. I don't know what the charge is for somebody engaging in a relationship with an underage, a sexual relationship with a minor. I don't know what the culpability is for somebody that knows about it and doesn't report it. I don't know if there is any legal precedent for that or not. I just don't know the answer to it. There should be. I know that there's such a thing as a mandated reporter. I don't know. I think everybody should be a mandated reporter. I think if there's a crime like that going on, I think everybody should have to testify.
Post shared Saturday, Neo addressed the growing attention around his recent comments and admitted that months of silence may have created what he called, quote, a void of information that everyone wants to fill. But according to him, the focus should never have been on his reaction. Neo said this case is about Celeste Rivas.
By the way, this picture here is the picture that they've been showing. This is what Celeste looked like when David met her. She was 11 years old in this photo.
The woman whose mutilated body was found inside the trunk of David's Tesla more than 6 months ago, and the pain her family continues to endure.
I don't know who his best friend is.
He added that public opinion about him matters far less than what Celeste's loved ones are facing right now. He says justice for her is what matters most. Neo also made it clear that he does not intend to publicly share further feelings, opinions, or emotional reactions while the case remains active. According to his post, speaking too much while the investigation is still unfolding would be, in his words, quote, disrespectful and not my place to weigh in on. The statement comes just a day after Neo appeared to reveal much stronger feelings privately through Instagram posts shared with his close friends, where he openly criticized David and suggested he may know more about the case than what has been made public. Those posts quickly drew attention online and raised fresh questions about his connection to the wider investigation. Now Neo says he will let the legal process unfold and wait for what he described as the truth to appear on record in due time. His legal team has already defended him publicly.
I feel like no matter what, that these guys are nicked up for the rest of their lives. Right or wrong, it's sort of just the way that it works, I just think no matter what. I mean, unless you're the one that turns them in, if they had any information, particularly about the murders.
Saying, quote, he played no part in this heinous crime and continues to be wrongly judged in the court of public opinion. At the same time, law enforcement sources have indicated that David is viewed as a suspect in the broader case. Still, no arrests have been made. And for now, after one brief burst of online reaction, Neo says he is going silent again.
that his mugshot? That's so weird. Looks happy. Are they not going to read this? What a shitty video. Yeah, I don't know. Not sure.
From this whole case, court records reveal that Neil Langston was arrested in Montana on a Los Angeles Superior Court warrant for failing to appear for testimony.
Which makes everything like even worse there. Like that to me. Okay, so you get a subpoena, you're supposed to testify, you don't testify, then you get picked up for it, then you decide to, that just means that you're looking out basically for yourself and your friend. Now, Rusty, I saw that you said I saw that you said that he didn't stick up for him, but inadvertently, oh my God, it's happened. The Shacklefords are both in the house. The universes have aligned. We have two Shacklefords in the house, folks. We got two Rusties, double Rusty. We got two Rusties in the house, folks. Two Rusties. Oh my God. It's like seeing a unicorn. There are two Rusties, yeah. It's amazing. It's a beautiful thing, to be honest with you.
Officials in Lewis and Clark County confirmed that LA County is expected to start the extradition process immediately. Locals even snapped photos of Neo being taken away in a police car, making this arrest impossible to ignore.
For quite some time, a lot of...
Dude, come on. Macho just burst his way in.
people were curious as to when she could have passed away. If she passed away at the beginning of 2025, why did she only just start smelling in September of 2025? Well, according to what we are hearing from sources close to LAPD, it seems as if Celeste Rivas Hernandez was actually frozen for a period of time. Freezing a body would preserve that for an extended period of time, and it seems as if
who the hell is that guy?
he was removed from being in a frozen state and put in David's Tesla. And because of that, the medical examiner is likely not going to be able to determine a CO.
Now here's
guess what? They did. They certainly did.
where it gets real messy. Rumors are flying that Neo knows exactly what happened to Celeste, and many believe once he spends even a single day behind bars, he might start talking. Neo
and he did, right?
And David were extremely close.
Why is he wearing this star on it, like right in the middle of his face?
Almost inseparable. And on David's secret Instagram account, Neo pops up everywhere. Starting July 21st, a photo of David and Neo at a house party sent the internet into a frenzy, and the rumors exploded instantly. That single image kicked off nonstop talk that David may have had a deeper relationship with Neo, and people started digging fast. Old Instagram posts resurfaced showing David and Neo recreating the famous Titanic pose, laying in bed together, plus plenty more moments that caught attention quick. It got so loud that
he's painted his nails. Hey, what are you doing?
Even investigators reportedly started asking, who exactly is Neo?
Wait.
Oh, look it. Answer that one. That's so mean if you don't answer
Which
that.
one? What's good, David? Big fan, big spam. Bro, thank you. Mitchell.
I gotta stop with him if you even.
We
need to delete this.
Maz, can we delete all VODs? And then as soon as the stream ends, delete the stream too?
Now let's be clear, none of this directly implies guilt, but based on Steve's
Like streaming with her, dude.
recent findings from David's social media, there's a growing theory that Neo may have been the last person driving the Tesla. That
Oh, it was this was Macho. Otis is in bed, but Macho just like plowed right through the door. Like I left it crack like that, and he butts it with his head like he's a friggin' bull.
alone has people raising eyebrows everywhere. Here's where it gets even stranger. Neo has completely wiped his social media clean of David and no longer follows him on Instagram.
Oh, that's good. Benny is Benny Blanco. He's a prolific music producer, writer. I believe he's married to Selena Gomez or dating her, and he also looks like a bridge troll.
This hasn't been officially confirmed by LAPD or authorities, but it sparked a serious wave of speculation. One post even stated, quote,
Look at it. He's so tacky.
receipts show that David and Neo, who were constantly together, no longer follow each other on Instagram. The biggest question still hanging in the air is simple but chilling. What really happened to Celeste, and who put her in the Tesla?
Weeks we've been wondering just what it was that a private investigator named Steve Fisher found.
Oh my God.
Life as an artist, and that's when attention suddenly shifted to Neo. Around that same time, authorities noticed Neo appeared to be distancing himself from evidence, and his name started blowing up everywhere. From that moment on, leaks started popping up nonstop, almost out of nowhere. TMZ then dropped a bombshell report claiming, quote, Celeste was found frozen inside David's car. And the LA County Medical Examiner reportedly said this could make it nearly impossible to determine the cause of her passing. That report triggered chaos online, with thousands of creators accusing David of buying a massive freezer, which completely dragged the spotlight away from Neo's involvement.
Hey guys, I know I haven't posted on this account in a little minutes, but I just had some words to share with you for 20.
What the hell kind of hat is that? Does anybody know what kind of hat that is? Like, what's it like? They try so hard to be fashionable. I mean, he looks like, I don't know what the hell he looks like. But if he's trying his best to look like an asshole, he's done it.
2025, despite all the craziness that's going on, all the turmoil.
A shower cap? Why is it a shower cap? He's not even in the shower.
The natural disasters, the pain and things like that this year, I just wanted to tell you guys not to be discouraged and not to lose hope and not to turn your face from God in these times of evil. And then it seems like,
yeah, it's a bonnet, but don't you wear bonnets like in private?
just at the start of the year, it's literally January, you know.
And don't you wear shower caps in the shower?
Stuff is happening. It's like the most insane. It's February now. It's the most insane start to a year that I've ever seen. But God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and love and a sound mind. So keep that sound mind. 2025.
It's a new rage. All right. Well, I'm gonna get a bonnet too.
Stay prayed up.
The story spread so fast.
He looks like a chef. Like a chef with his stupid hat.
That the LAPD was forced to step in and shut it down. To do that, they released a new police report stating, quote, on the night of December 30th through the morning of December 31st, 2024, David and Celeste were together in downtown Los Angeles, with public photos taken, along with unsettling images from David's camera roll showing a dark, creepy shed. Several photos of that shed were sitting.
Yeah, well, if it's a shower cap, it's what you wear in the shower. he's not in the shower. So I don't think it's a shower cap.
Inside David's camera roll, all taken on the very same night he and Celeste were seen wandering around downtown LA, and that immediately caught investigators.
What is he doing? He's an idiot. They should charge him for that somehow. To find a way to charge him for that, like indecent exposure to public, like making the public look at his stupid hat. But he's not sleeping, Heather. I get what you're saying. I understand, but it's not. He's not asleep. Look at him. He looks like an idiot.
Attention.
No, out of all times for this to happen, as discovered in his car, after she's been identified, for there to be a potential swatting incident where somebody calls 911 with a fake allegation, a fake crime for their property, out of all people, out of all times, it's weird.
Well, it's weird, but it doesn't necessarily surprise me because this case has taken on national significance in terms of people paying attention to it. And there are bad actors that understand.
Could we move on? You can. Feel free.
How to bring somebody by way of swatting. So somebody called the 911 system down there. They found the address online and
you're allowed to move wherever you want to go. You can go anywhere you want.
Were basically made up a story for the cops to go there. And then they went in, and fortunately the police were very professional and they were able to immediately understand that it was a swatting incident and it wasn't a legitimate call.
The LAPD started questioning whether this shed could have been the location where something went terribly wrong. Even more chilling, David's camera roll also contained what appears to be the very last photo ever taken of Celeste, dated 1 year ago today, January 2nd, 2025. According to the investigation, it's important to note that law enforcement has access to far more resources and could possess images or evidence from after that date.
Do you have any indication about where David is right now?
I don't.
Oh, shocker. Steve doesn't know something.
I have no idea. And it's kind of bizarre because his group has stayed so silent with it.
And unmistakable.
You know, transferring these assets in the middle of a critical name, that was invalid. This is a way for, let's say, a plaintiff who sues him, or let's say in a criminal judgment to...
Nobody gets involved in more cases and does less than Steve Fisher.
To pay that fine. Can a court look at that and say, even though you transferred it, it's still open season on those properties?
Yeah, this is what's so puzzling about this. It is a very basic premise of law throughout the country that you can't transfer assets after the event happens that would otherwise trigger collecting on those assets. So we have rules in different states. Sometimes they're called fraudulent transfer. Sometimes they're called fraudulent conveyances. There's a lot of different names for them. But the crux of it is you cannot transfer assets.
But this is where things turn strange fast. A response to the investigator reportedly said, quote, "I saw this on Reddit.
I know his voice is tough. That's a crazy looking, what a weird, what such a weird mugshot.
This hoodie circled, the image showed the exact same ripped designer. Saw this on Reddit. Is this hoodie circled? The image showed the exact same.
Hey, cat's meow. Look at that stupid hat. Look at his hat. It looks so stupid. Can we move on, please?
Ripped designer hoodie lying on the floor of David's room. Visible in a selfie he took, plain as day. During the police
Oh, look, there it is again.
Investigation, authorities allegedly also found this same sweater that Celeste was wearing appearing on a live stream. Because of all this, reports now say David is likely
a mini hot air balloon.
Facing serious charges connected to the passing of Celeste Reeve, and the situation is moving fast. A grand jury is currently reviewing the case and is expected to be asked to return an indictment, according to multiple sources. TMZ
Oh my God.
and other
Look at Benny's toes. He looks like he could snatch a salmon going upstream with those things.
major outlets are reporting the same thing, saying the court process is being pushed forward quickly due to what was found during the investigation.
Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Okay, so the plan is hopefully this music thing takes off crazy next year.
Why is he saying, why are you saying that like you're not like up there?
Well, I'm not there yet, but hopefully it's like even crazier next year. And then I go on crazy year after year for the next 3 years. And then on the 4th year, I retire. And on the 5th year, I'm off the grid, living somewhere like on an island with this crazy crib. No social media, no digital footprint. I'm just gone.
Oh, you're gonna be gone. You're not gonna have. You're gone. He gone.
I'm just gone. In 5 years, I'm gonna be gone.
Will you still remember me?
Yeah, bro. You'll have like the secret codes to the mansion. Yeah. You can pull up on it.
What's the secret code? Give us the first 2 numbers.
Absolutely not.
Here's where
I don't think he's involved. I think that Benny's involved in music.
things take a sharp turn. A private investigator revealed that an incinerator capable of reaching temperatures up to 1,600 degrees was allegedly found inside one of David's rental homes. This type of equipment is usually used on farms and is not legal for LA residents.
Yeah, incinerators on farms. I mean, like the police already knew about it, Steve. Nobody needed you to tell anybody anything.
To own without proper permits or a registered farm, which immediately raised alarms. But the real shock is where this was found. Reports say Celeste
Chef Boyard D4VD
had been staying in David's second, extremely private rental home, a place so low.
His secret code now is hey, CO. Yeah, it's a secret code now is top ramen.
Low-key that almost nobody even knew it existed. When you connect this with video David recorded at another property in February 2025.
David, how are you sleeping in jail? I'm sleeping on my back wearing a catcher's mask.
Where Celeste had previously stayed, investigators believe Celeste may have already passed weeks earlier. Around that same time, David reportedly leased a red Tesla and stopped using the black one. And investigators also noticed a picture frame behind him during recordings, along
He looks so stupid. Look at that thing.
with a very strange choice of words that only added more suspicion.
I can't watch this anymore. I guess do you want to watch Sidebar before we're done? I don't really care. I've already covered most of it. Do you guys want to watch Sidebar? But if Steve's on there, I'm not watching it. I just will not. And Jesse loves to have Steve on. Who's snoring? I don't know. Me, maybe? $29 minutes. God dang.
After months of secrecy, prosecutors have just revealed brand new, never before seen, never before heard alleged details in the horrific killing and disposal of a child's body in the David case. Alleged ongoing sexual abuse of a child, a vicious stabbing, a grisly alleged dismemberment with a chainsaw. The allegations against singer-songwriter David are on full display in this new court filing, providing graphic new details about what LA prosecutors claim he allegedly did to this 14-year-old girl and why. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Real quick, before we go any further, I got to tell you about our partner, Upside, okay? Upside is this app that gets you cash back, extra cash back on everyday purchases like gas, groceries.
Gas is only $6 a gallon. Nobody needs it. Let's see. I wonder, did the cat's meow take off? Yeah, he's going to prep for the shower. Don't drop the soap. Dude, look at that thing. His widow's peak looks bigger today than it ever has.
Spectacular. Found dead, her mutilated body reportedly found in David's Tesla at a Hollywood tow yard. Prosecutors have now charged David with first-degree murder, continuous sexual abuse of a child under 14, and unlawful mutilation of human remains. He's entered a not guilty plea. It's important to remember.
God, he looks like shit there too. Yeah, Josh, you still sound under the weather. Well, I may sound like it, but I'm not. I'm feeling strong. I worked out today. I did my things. I may sound it, but I don't feel it.
That he is innocent until proven guilty. I say that especially because it can be very hard to remember when we're about to get into these disturbing new alleged details that were revealed by prosecutors. And this is big because there has been so much secrecy to this case. I mean, remember, we just saw the autopsy report last week after it was sealed. In fact, we actually thought that we would have to wait.
I worked out every single day that I was sick. I did not stop. I kept going.
For a preliminary hearing to learn any new details in this case. The preliminary hearing, of course, is where prosecutors try to present sufficient evidence to say, hey, look, we have enough evidence to move this case forward towards trial. And during an arraignment last week, his attorneys told the judge they wanted to get to that preliminary hearing right away.
Counsel, on behalf of your client, do you waive formal reading of the complaint, advisement of rights, including armed forces and veterans' rights?
Look at him. Look at him back there. He looks like an idiot.
Enter a plea.
Where's your shower cap at?
Not guilty, denying any and all special allegations, enhancements, and priors. Yes, Your Honor. And request a request.
Dude, I got to tell you. So when when all that was going on, and I was like debating whether I should work out or not. Dude, I got to tell you that I think even working out while I was sick boosted my immunity. I don't know why. I know that it did. It was a struggle, but I did it.
Preliminary hearing within the period.
Yes, Your Honor.
Kind of fucking idiot.
From the media reports, apparently there have been 4 months of secret grand jury proceedings. We believe that Mr. Burke is entitled at the earliest opportunity to an open preliminary hearing and the proceedings not be done in secret. So we are asking for a preliminary hearing to be set at the earliest possible.
Michelle, thank you so much for being here. 2 months. Kat says, I'm gay and Josh looks great. It's awesome. Thanks, buddy.
Date on the 10th day. Your Honor, we believe the actual evidence will show David Burke did not murder Celeste Rivas Hernandez, nor was he the cause of her death. And we would like to be able to have the evidence come into the light of day at the earliest opportunity in order to establish that.
And that was seemingly to put the prosecutor's feet to the fire, right? What do you have? What's your evidence? There's been a lot of questions swirling over whether, you didn't get a grand jury indictment, right? Is there a weakness in this case? Remember, despite apparently multiple secret grand juries considering this case, evaluating evidence, hearing evidence, for whatever reason, they chose not to indict, or maybe they weren't asked to indict. Could have just been an investigative grand jury or investigative grand juries, which means now it's up to prosecutors to convince the court in a preliminary hearing that there's enough evidence to move this case towards trial. The defense will have an opportunity to challenge that. But when David's attorneys returned to court yesterday to discuss when
bad
a preliminary hearing would happen, they said the original date of Friday, this Friday, was in fact too soon. They haven't had nearly enough time to review the huge amount of evidence to challenge it at a hearing. So this preliminary hearing has been pushed back to May 26th. But that's not even the big news. This is.
She's probably sleeping. She lives back east.
What I have in my hands. Because for the first time, prosecutors are laying out some of the alleged evidence they have against David and what they claim they could prove at an eventual trial. And I will warn you right now, the claims in this document are incredibly disturbing. Allegations that he stabbed this 14-year-old girl.
If anybody accuses me of not doing it, go back to the very beginning. I went through it line by line. I broke it down. I explained it, questioned it. I'm just watching Jesse because his hair looks great.
Death to keep her from revealing that he had been sexually abusing her. That's the allegation. That
I plead the fifth.
He allegedly used a chainsaw to cut up her body in an inflatable kiddie pool in the garage. More.
sick bastard, dude.
More details regarding this alleged secret illegal sexual relationship. More importantly, for the prosecution's case, what evidence they have to prove that. And that's what I want to get into. So according to investigators, Celeste was last seen or heard from on April 23rd, 2025, when David, according to prosecutors, sent a rideshare car to pick her up from her hometown of Lake Elsinore and bring her back to the home that he was apparently renting in the Hollywood Hills, a trip of more than 80 miles. Prosecutors claim she was exchanging messages with David during this ride, and then she apparently never uses the phone again. Celeste's dismembered body was found months later on September 8th in a Tesla Model.
I mean, he literally had her delivered to his house to kill her, is what they're alleging in this. And they're going to be able to prove all of that his phone is going to ping his house. Her phone is going to track her all the way from Lake Elsinore to the Hollywood Hills. They're going to show minute by minute text messages. And then on top of all that, her phone, she's not going to be using her phone anymore because she gets there at 10:10 and then at 10:30 she stops. So they also allege that he watched her die because she didn't die right away. So that it took her some time to die, which is just disgusting. It's a sick thought.
Model X allegedly registered to David. And according to this filing, the car had been parked on the street just 400 feet from where David was staying. And then it was towed. The manager at the tow yard reported a horrific smell, flies around the front trunk, and that's when authorities discovered Celeste's body. According to this document, it's called the People's Brief regarding preliminary hearing.
I wonder if they have a murder weapon. Like, for some reason, I feel like he's the kind of weirdo that would have like a samurai sword. I swear to God, I don't know why. I'm not trying to be funny or anything like that. He just seems like that kind of weirdo that would be into that kind of shit.
Evidence, quote, surveillance video and other evidence confirmed defendant, meaning David, was the last person to drive the vehicle on July 29th, 2025, before he left Los Angeles on a concert tour. So that's about, what, a month or so before the car was towed and the body was found. It's not clear if anyone else actually moved the car or had any knowledge of what was reportedly inside. I want you to keep that in mind. We're going to talk about it later. There's something in the filing that I thought was really interesting. But it goes on to say, quote, at the tow yard, LAPD detectives opened the Tesla's front storage compartment and observed.
Oh, no. I'm pretty sure that's a racist term, but I don't know. But I know what you mean. What the term is weeaboo. And that's somebody who isn't Asian, but thinks that they're Asian, kind of like a wigger.
Observed a black cadaver bag covered in insects.
I don't know if it's racist or not. I'm just
inside the bag, they discovered a severely decomposed
black guy thinking he's Asian.
Head and torso. A plastic garbage bag beneath the black cadaver bag contained the dismembered arms and legs. However, the victim's ring and pinky fingers on her left hand had been amputated and were not found in the Tesla. On September 16, 2025, the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner's Department positively identified the body from dental records as belonging to
I don't know if it's a racist term or not, but if that's what people call them, I understand it. I get what it means. I know what it means.
But this is the part that's new, okay? The filing claims that LAPD robbery homicide detectives determined that Celeste and David met in January of 2022 when she was just 11 years old. That he allegedly began a sexual relationship with Celeste when she was 13. David was 18. And the court paperwork revealed that investigators have been looking into David for quite some time. The filing says detectives learned the victim had been reported missing to the Riverside County Sheriff's Department by her family, who live in Lake Elsinore, in February and April 2024. RCSD telephonically contacted defendant on February 17, 2024, after they identified a phone number in the victim's phone records that belonged to him. During the call, defendant claimed he had spoken to the victim last on February.
No, it's somebody that is into Asian culture that's not Asian. They are often referred to online as weeaboos. Sometimes they're into like anime, video games, but that's what it is.
February 13th or 14th, 2024, but stated he was unaware she was a minor or that she had been reported missing. RCSD advised him that Los Angeles Sheriff's Department deputies would be coming to his home. On that day, defendant was living at 804 North Doheny Place in West Hollywood. RCSD requested that LASD conduct a welfare check at defendant's home. LASD deputies went to defendant's home that night at 8:15 p.m. and informed him the victim was a 13-year-old runaway. Defendant again claimed he was unaware she was a minor and he had only met the victim once in person in November of 2023. However, defendant showed deputies a yearbook photo of the victim he had on his cell phone. Although he claimed to be unaware of where the victim was at the time, she returned home 2 days later. By the way, you're seeing how in-depth this investigation was and maybe kind of gives us an idea of why it took so long for there to be an arrest and for these charges and for the evidence to develop. But remember, prosecutors claim he killed her to keep her quiet about this supposed relationship, to not have her expose him to ruin his career. Just keep that in mind. So the filing continues, quote, despite being informed by law enforcement the victim was only 13, defendant continued to pursue her. After the victim returned home in February 2024, her parents took her cell phone away. Defendant drove to Lake Elsinore and paid a junior high school student in the victim's...
People make tattoos out of, like, I think it's, what are those, I've heard it's like walkie-talkie motors and shit.
Class $1,000 to give the victim a cell phone defendant purchased so that
you can buy tattoo guns, and you're not supposed to be giving them, but it's, I mean, how are you going to enforce that? People get them in prison all the time.
They could stay in contact. Throughout 2024, the victim spent
I had a cousin who made a tattoo gun. Have a cousin. He's still currently around, and he gave himself, it was like a joint. Like he tattooed a joint on his arm, but and then there was like smoke coming off of it, but he was so bad that it looked like a steaming turd. I'm not kidding. Swear to God. Then he tattooed his daughter's name on him and spelled her name wrong.
Significant amount of time with defendant, including summer weekends at his home in the Hollywood Hills and traveling with him to Las Vegas, London, and Texas to meet his family. So now I'm thinking travel records, right? I'm thinking how in-depth this investigation was. And by the way, this is the first time we're hearing just how often Celeste was with, or allegedly was with, this much older man. And it really speaks to how many people were potentially aware that he was maybe in this relationship with a younger girl, right? Members of online forums that David and Celeste were reportedly part of have said they didn't know Celeste was so young, thinking she was David's age. But if she was traveling with him to different places and meeting these people in a circle, did none of them suspect that something was maybe amiss here? I mean, again, assuming these allegations are true. You go back to the filing, quote, text exchanges between the victim and defendant contain references to sex, pregnancy, abortion, and use of the Plan B emergency contraceptive. There are also explicit photographs documenting and corroborating their sexual relationship. In November 2024, defendant and the victim broke up, although they continued to communicate, and text messages suggest they also continued to have sexual relations. See, that's the kind of alleged evidence that is incredibly compelling. What separates this from other cases of, let's say, a he said, she said, right? That's the kind of alleged evidence that...
Oh, my cousin? IQ of 88? God, you're generous.
It supports the sex charge, but goes to the special circumstances of killing a witness, right? Remember, to support the special circumstances allegations, which you would get life in prison without the possibility of parole for the murder charge or the death penalty, allegedly killing her because she's a witness to this, or allegedly killing her to silence her. It's evidence of this purported sexual relationship that's really problematic, or potentially really problematic for David.
And by the way, I have to tell you, this just came out at the time of this recording. So the death certificate for Celeste, and this is per reporting from TMZ, there's a change. It used to say that she was not pregnant. Now it's saying that section is marked U for unknown. So what is this suggesting? That it was possible she could have been pregnant? Not entirely clear.
Per prosecutors, quote, April 23rd, 2025 is the likely date of the victim's death and when all her cellular activity ceased. The night prior, April 22nd, 2025, defendant and the victim engaged in a lengthy argument described in detail in their text messages. The messages reveal the victim's jealousy over defendant's relationships with other women, as defendant led her to believe they had a future together. She became extremely...
I think my IQ is over 88. Personally, if you're talking about mine. But my cousins, definitely under.
Upset and threatened to disclose damaging information about her relationship with defendant to end his career and destroy his life. Defendant's first studio album was due to be released on April 25th, 2025, so 2 days later. He had an emerging multi-million-dollar career already in progress. He also had multiple product endorsements, which were highly profitable. I mean, to give you an idea about what was at stake and what the prosecution may use at trial or a preliminary hearing, I mean, we told you in an episode yesterday that after David was arrested on murder and mutilation charges, the video game Fortnite announced it was going to refund players who made David-related purchases in the game, saying...
They just said that they were going to do that. Josh, last year you sang happy birthday for me. My birthday's tomorrow, May 2nd. Are you going to sing for me again tomorrow? Maybe.
Statement, we hear the concerns. We have a bunch of changes we're rolling out over time. The first one will be available on Tuesday, April 28th, when anyone who purchased one of these items will be able to get an immediate self-service refund. And right now, players who request refunds for David Cosmetics via player support can be refunded. And according to reporting from the Houston Chronicle, David's song, Locked and Loaded, became the game's first official theme song in 2025. Now he's being canceled across the board. You have companies like Universal Music Group working to remove the songs that he apparently did in collaboration with their artists from streaming platforms. And I say all that because, again, think about what was going on in his life. Think about the height of his career at that time. I have to imagine the prosecutors are going to use this to establish the narrative that he couldn't let Celeste expose him, right? Again, these are just allegations. This is the prosecution's narrative, but you see where they're going.
Yes, and I think it's extremely painful.
So investigators contend that April 23rd was when Celeste was killed, soon after arriving at that house in the Hollywood Hills. Quote, at approximately 8:40 p.m. on April 23rd, 2025, defendant sent an Uber to transport the victim from her Lake Elsinore home to his residence. They communicated.
Can you stop? Go get in bed. Go. Get up in bed. Go. Go on. Go. Go get in bed. Come on. Go. Go get in bed. Gosh. I've had my IQ tested twice, both involuntary.
Before and during her Uber ride, which dropped her off at defendant's Hollywood Hills home around 10:10 p.m. At approximately 10:30 p.m., defendant sent text messages to the victim inquiring where she was.
Actually, it's Macho. Go get in bed. Go get in bed. Go to sleep.
People contend this was part of defendant's premeditated plan to cover up the murder, as she was already dead by this time. If that's true, that is a quick turnaround from when she arrived to when she was killed, right? And that goes to that premeditation aspect, lying in wait. Quote, knowing he had to silence the victim before she ruined his music career as she had threatened, very soon after her arrival at his home, defendant stabbed the victim to death multiple times and stood by while she bled out. At no time did he call law enforcement or 911 or take her to an emergency room to attempt to save her life. Despite knowing she was dead and her family was trying to find her, the evidence will show defendant lied and claimed he didn't know where she was. In fact, defendant drove to Santa Barbara County. This is something we've always talked about before. Drove to Santa Barbara County.
I'm not telling.
Immediately after the victim died, attempting to dispose of her property and destroy evidence. At approximately 11:30 p.m. on April 23rd, 2025, he drove away from his home as he texted and called the victim's phone, asking where she was. Again, these were acts calculated and planned to set up his defense within a very short timeline after the victim's vicious murder. Defendant drove his Tesla north on the 101 freeway to San Marcos Pass Road, SR 154, near Lake Cachuma in Santa Barbara County. He returned home early the following morning on April 24th, 2025, before going to a radio interview for the release of his album that week. He sent 2 additional texts to the victim's phone that day, which obviously went unanswered because she was already dead. After April 26, 2025, defendant never attempted to contact her again. And if that's true, that would be strange, right? Because if that's the case and he had no idea what happened to her, wouldn't he be desperately trying to get a hold of her? I think that's an argument that would be put forward by prosecutors. And then the filing gets into the incredibly disturbing details of how David allegedly cut Celeste's body into pieces. Quote, tellingly, defendant subsequently purchased tools to carry out his plot to dismember and dispose of the victim's body. On April 24, 2025, defendant ordered a shovel from Home Depot that was delivered to his home from Postmates. On May 1st, 2025, defendant ordered and subsequently Amazon delivered 2 chainsaws to his home. On May 5th, 2025, defendant ordered and Amazon subsequently delivered a body bag, heavy-duty laundry bags, and a blue inflatable pool to his home. He made these purchases under the fake name Victoria Mendez. On May 8th, 2025, defendant returned to the same area in Santa Barbara County, leaving his home around 11:30 p.m. He returned to the area again on May 31st, 2025. This is an isolated site off SR 154 where the victim's identification was subsequently discovered in January 2026. Additionally, on July 7th, 2025, defendant ordered and subsequently Amazon delivered a burn cage to his home under the same fake.
That's wild. A burn cage. I sound like I'm talking to kids. I am talking to kids.
Name as part of his plan to incinerate evidence. We've talked about that before with Steve Fisher, the private investigator. Quote, moreover, defendant took horrifying measures to destroy and discard the victim's body. After placing her body into the blue inflatable pool to prevent her blood from spilling onto his garage floor, defendant used a chainsaw and perhaps other tools to cut off her limbs. Small blue plastic fragments were found embedded in the victim's remains, which were collected by the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner's Department. The fragments were analyzed by the LAPD's forensics.
I don't think they're claiming him right now.
Science Division Trace Analysis Unit. An expert was able to match a physical fit match from the blue fragments to the blue inflatable pool purchased by defendant in May 2025. In order to distance himself from the victim, he amputated her left ring and pinky fingers because her ring finger contained a tattoo of his name. Her fingers have not been recovered. Defendant then placed her head and torso into the cadaver bag he purchased. He placed her limbs into a garbage bag, which he deposited into his front trunk, laying the cadaver bag on top. For several weeks or possibly months, defendant left the victim's body to decompose inside his Tesla. Let me stop right there. As you can see, prosecutors are going to claim they have digital evidence, forensic evidence, purchase history to all support this. I have to imagine this will be challenged by the defense with their own experts. And if there's certain items of evidence, body parts that are missing, they'll try to make room for reasonable doubt. But it's really, you're seeing now how they are building this case and what they've been doing. I mean, Steve Fisher talked about, what was it, like 54?
No one cares.
Sir David by a 20-year-old singer by himself. But I will tell you, the filing does make you question if maybe, you know what? Maybe he did allegedly act alone. The filing.
I mean, I don't know. I guess did they test like cognitive intelligence, like reasoning. What was the other one? Ability to learn. Yeah. Shit like that.
Filing states that David, quote, lied to friends, business associates, and others about the strong smell of decay in and around the home and the car. When LAPD served the search warrant at the house after Celeste was identified, they reportedly found all sorts of evidence in the garage to support dismemberment, including biological evidence that tested positive for blood. They say it matched the victim's unique genetic profile, as well as the inflatable pool, which had these multiple, quote, linear cuts. And I want to go through the list of evidence that the state provides, which it says will be able to present at trial to prove David's guilt. Again,
yes, he bought an incinerator. Hippies bargain hunt. Remember, for 5 months. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Allegations, but let me go through this. And by the way, photos and videos of some of that evidence was released on X by private investigator Steve Fisher, who's been on this case from the beginning. He was hired by the owner of the Hollywood Hills home that David was apparently renting, who had a lot of questions about just what was going on.
Yeah, hired as a plumber.
On this property when Celeste's body was found, and the Tesla was allegedly connected back to the singer.
But solved the whole crime.
Since then, I've spoken with Steve many times about what he's been able to uncover, and we're going to get to that in just a moment. But back to this evidence list. First, quote, the description of photographs depicting the victim naked, as well as while she was engaged with defendant in sexual activity when she was 13, as this evidence constitutes child sexual abuse material. The photographs themselves will not be presented. While all possible charges that could be proven were not filed, the CSAM is proof of their ongoing sexual relationship while the victim was 13 and 14 years old. I also do wonder if you're looking at potential federal charges here. Quote, numerous text messages between defendant and the victim evidencing their sexual.
Well, I mean, body bags are sold because, places buy them, morgues buy them, and you would order them on Amazon. I mean, it's not that uncommon to buy or sell stuff through Amazon. It's just not. I get what you're saying, but
relationship, pregnancy, abortion, use of Plan B, emergency contraception. Messages through March 2025 prove defendant continued to manipulate the victim as she messaged, all we do is have sex and just hang out. Man, I want more than that for myself. These messages were obtained.
Donna gifted 5 more lab memberships. Thank you, Donna. That's very kind of you.
From defendant's iCloud data, defendant's cellular activity and communications derived from defendant's iPhone and Tesla, which demonstrate defendant's activities from April 22nd, 2025 to April 24th, 2025, including a trip to Santa Barbara County in the middle of the night after the victim arrived at his Hollywood Hills home. Surveillance video of defendant driving his Tesla on July 29, 2025 for the last time before parking the vehicle and leaving on tour at the end of July. So Steve Fisher.
I doubt that they buy them through special companies. I'm just saying that it's not, I don't know. I'm sure they use them for a bunch of things like films and colleges and things like that. I'm not watching Steve Fisher. I could care less.
Shared the surveillance video after the hearing on X, reportedly showing the Tesla one of the last times it was driven. It's believed that Celeste's dismembered remains were inside that front trunk, and the list of potential evidence continues.
Well, and Cindy, it's not that I don't disagree with you, but I think that the level of volume that they do, I just don't see how you could track it, I mean, I just, would it set off some alarms? I mean, maybe.
Quote, DNA evidence developed from blood stains collected from defendant's garage, which matched the victim.
By the way, didn't he take her to Texas? So maybe Texas can get him on something there.
Genetic profile, proof of defendant's Amazon purchases and deliveries to his residence, including 2 chainsaws, a body bag, an inflatable pool, heavy-duty laundry bags, a burn cage after April 24th, 2020.
Why would you say films? Who needs it? Seems like you would reuse the body bag for film. What do you mean by that? What does that mean?
Steve also shared photos of some of these alleged packages. You can see the deliveries are addressed to Victoria Mendez. Not clear why David would allegedly use that particular name. Quote, proof of defendant's purchase and delivery from Postmates of a shovel from Home Depot to his home on April 24th, 2025. Uber records showing defendant's transaction where he ordered an Uber to pick up the victim from her Lake Elsinore home and transport her to his residence the night of April 23rd, 2025. Proof of defendant's lucrative career as a singer-songwriter prior to April 23rd, 2025. Defendant had an album release party on the night of April 24th, 2025 before embarking on an international tour in late July 2025. Text message exchanges between defendant and the victim on April 22nd and April 23rd, 2025, where the victim threatened to expose defendant and destroy his career. The prosecution
I went over this all before.
Has issued numerous subpoenas and is prepared to proceed with the preliminary hearing. Now, as I mentioned before, the court, again, decided to push this back to May 26th, and the delay was frustrating for a lot of people, including Steve Fisher. He's been very vocal on social media.
Okay, we're done here. And Jesse, dude. Jesse loves him. I thought you said earlier people use those for filming, but not a body bag is something you just don't use over and over again unless you work in a certain line of work. Well, I mean, I've seen movies like what was Outbreak, when they have like a mass morgue and there's all sorts of zipped up body bags, and I've seen it in many movies. So I don't know. Like that, I'm just saying, I don't think it's that weird that Amazon sells them. I mean, you might, and you might be right. I just don't think it's that odd. But there's, I mean, I'm sure that morgues all over the country buy them. So I don't know. They sell everything on Amazon. I just didn't think it's that weird. Yeah, I won't watch anything with SF. But it's a terrible case. It's actually very sad. But anyway, all right. Well, that's it for me tonight, you guys. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Tomorrow's May the 1st, and I'm sure that people are going to say a million times, May the 1st be with you. And just smile and nod when somebody says it. Don't go, oh, that's tacky. Even though it is, it will be said. It will be said. May the 1st be with you. Or what is it? It's got to be, what is it? What's the NSYNC one too? But it's going to happen inevitably. Don't let it ruin your day. Drink a lot of water. Take a walk. Do something. You'll feel good. Treat your animals right. May the 4th be with you. I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't matter. It's coming. It's coming. May the 1st be with you. May the 1st be with you. That's what I would do. I would say May the 1st be with you. Anyway. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. May the 4th. It's gotta be May. They sell what? Body bags? Yeah. I think that's where he got his from. Whatever. All right, guys. Appreciate it.
That's